profound wisdom and practical insights that fosters Fejiro Adaka, who is fondly called MrzSparkles, is a radiant lighthouse. Every encounter with her leaves you with profound wisdom and practical insights that fosters your emotional and professional relationships so that you become a more productive and fulfilled version of yourself. Fejiro is a chartered accountant with over 12 years' experience in the finance industry, a certified relationship and emotional intelligence coach, the founder of Cover Solutions, through which she and her team are dedicated to empowering businesses and career professionals to build and sustain robust relationships. She's also a family life practitioner and the founder of the askmrzsparkles Academy, where she's wholeheartedly building a tribe of enlightened and equipped singles, sparkling couples, and harmonized families through which she believes nations will be transformed. She is an associate of the Network of Family Systems Engineering and a member of the Institute of Family Life Association of America. She's happily married, and together they are blessed with two amazing boys. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Sparkles.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's day 5 of the series Dating Chronicles with MrzSparkles. I'm super excited because it's day 5 and it's the grand finale. Gosh, how has it been for you? Okay, I'm streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, where are you joining me from? Where are you joining me from? Wow, I see all of you already in the chat. Hi, Ephraim. Hi, Kosi. Hi, cheerleader. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And I apologize for the little delay. We would jump right into it. I'm excited because it's been what? 4 days of insight, wisdoms, mindset shifts, beliefs changing, and all of that. So good. How have you been? How has it been for you? Let me know. What has stood out for you? Uchiro, you're just so consistent. Like, thank you for joining us back to back every day. What has stood out for you in the past 4 days? Just a sentence. Just a sentence. What has stood out for you? Awesome. Please let me know in the chat what has stood out for you. What has hit you hard in the past 4 days? I really would love to read from you. Please engage with me in the chat so that I know that we are together. Our guest is in the house already. I'll be bringing her on board a little bit, but I want to reemphasize some of the things that I have been saying in the past 4 days. One of which is this: there are two categories of people here. The first category are people who hear stuff and they're excited. They're like, this one hits me. You're breaking this table. Just call my name. You're talking to me. They're excited about all of the things that they hear, but they don't have any plan to take action. Everything is going in here and everything is coming out here. Cheerleader says a word is not enough. Make it a sentence for me. A sentence. What has really stood out for you? 2024 is that year where you don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. Why? The results that you have today is a function of the decisions that you made or did not make in the past years. And we're doing things differently this time. We want to go for what we want. Now, the second category of people are those who are consistent, like they've been here back to back. Even when they missed out because of some other engagements, they came, they watched the replay, they've taken notes, and they are ready to take action. Like they want to transform their lives, they want to elevate their love life, they want to get this dating thing right. They understand everything that has been shared, and they are looking to manifest all of those positive things in their life. Which are you, A or B? Let me know. I'm looking in the chats and I'm waiting to read from all of you. So please let me know. Ujiro says somewhat selfishness is important for dating relationship. I agree with you 100%. If you're going to be selfish with holding on to your standards, then this is the time before you get in. Now, I announced yesterday that the access to my 3 days boot camp will be open today. I don't know if I should open it now or open it later. What do you guys want? Should I open it now? Betty says, don't just concentrate on the person's denomination, but the content, which is the person. That's so good. That's so good, Betty. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else wants to share what has really hit you hard in the past 4 days? Now, I'm going to open up the access to the bootcamp in a few, in a few minutes. Excuse me. And the first 5 people who would jump in get an opportunity to sit with me in a session. Yes, we would have a one on one session when I'm going to listen to everything that you have to say about what is going on with you. Those things that you cannot really share with anybody because they are private to you or because you don't want to be judged. Don't worry. I am the definition of a safe house. Okay. So the first 5 people to jump in, once it opens, let's the chat to I'm not going to do it now, but I'm just going to drop it in the chat and then with all that we have. Now, different says be intentional about what you need in a relationship. The God factor is the watchword here, and whatever you want in your proposed partner, it should begin with you. You are a very good student, Ifre. Very, very good student. So please tell your friends, those people who are not here, who are meant to be here, tell them to join us now. I'm going to be reading the bio. Shikemi said the limiting beliefs that we may be carrying without knowing. This has had me thinking hard, and this is so true. I remember a client once reached out to me for a one-on-one session, and she was complaining about how her boyfriend, a guy, or I don't know if they were even dating, I can't remember, but someone that she really liked, was not really giving her the attention that she needed, was not sending her quote and unquote, and she was worried. And this is one of the guys that she has not really fallen in love with anybody like she has with this guy. And we went, I think we had like a 1 or 2 hour session that day. By the time we were done, just that session alone, she realized that that guy was not even the guy that she needed. She realized that there was so much work she needed to do with herself. She realized that some certain limiting beliefs had been holding her back from seeing the opportunities that lies in front of her. It was like I did magic, right? And most times these beliefs are things that we will hold on to and say it's not possible. This thing is true. But guess what? It is only true from your own frame of reference. Okay. I would say I need to know myself enough before I can accommodate another human. So I don't complain so much about the other person. Very, very true. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. It tells me that you guys are really following. Now, I want to read the bio of our guest and I'll bring her in. Are you excited? Are you ready? Are you ready? The posted link isn't working. What posted link? Oh, sorry, LAP. Thank you for that. It's LAB. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read the chats. I'm going to read the Atinuke's bio now. I see that she's ready. She's already flipping and load. She's excited. I'm excited too, guys. So Atinuke Solanke is a certified life emotional intelligence coach. She's a healing and trauma-informed transformative coach. She combines her experience and expertise in taking people from trauma to triumph. She specializes in emotional healing and personal growth. She's dedicated to emotional trauma, doubt, and a lack of direction. She's passionate about supporting individuals transform their pain into purpose. With Atinuke, you are sure to experience healing from the past wounds, improved self confidence, and internal peace so that you can create and sustain healthy relationships while living a fulfilling life. Tell me all of this is not something you want to experience. She has been married for 11 years and together they are blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, with plenty positive energy in the chat, welcome Coach Tinuke. We call her Coach Tinuke 2.0.
Good
Welcome on
evening. Good
board.
evening.
Good
Thank you for
evening.
having me. Good evening. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
thank you so much. I can hear you loud and clear, but it
Awesome.
feels like I
Awesome.
am echoing again, and I rebuke every
Oh.
spirit of echo. Please let me know
Amen.
in the
Oh,
chat if you can hear me loud and clear, everyone, and if I'm echoing from your end. Tineke, thank you so much for joining us
thank you for
again.
having
Thank
me.
you for accepting our invitation in the Ask MrzSparkles Academy. You are glowing like what? What is all this oppression? Ah, too much,
Oh my
too much, it's too
goodness.
much, it's too much, it's
Oh
too
my
much, it's too much.
goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
They're
you.
showing you so much love in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you. Thank
welcome,
you. Thank
welcome,
you,
welcome.
everyone. Can you hear me
Oh,
properly?
yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Are you still echoing on your end?
No, everyone says I'm good. So we are
Fantastic.
good
All
to
right.
go.
Great.
Are you ready?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Awesome. Okay, so Tineke, tell us, what was growing up like for you? I mean, I'm sure you know this is the first question I asked every of my guests already. What was
Yes.
growing up like for you? And if you could think back a bit, how did that experience, affect your thoughts when it came to dating?
Okay. Thank you. First off, right, I hope I'm allowed to be honest,
Yes,
real,
very honest,
and
unfiltered.
vulnerable. I hope that's
Yes,
allowed here.
please. Very, 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 very.
Fantastic.
Welcome all of
Okay.
that. Yes.
So my upbringing, right? Family of six, my parents
Mhm.
and three siblings. I'm the first of four.
Okay.
I'm from a very close knit family. My siblings and I are extremely close. Actually, my siblings are
Mhm.
like my best friends. Like
Mhm.
friends. Like you know. Grew up in a family that my parents, I have parents that would literally carry us on their head. Like,
Mhm.
I need anything, they would provide. My parents were,
Mhm.
like, we did not lack,
Mhm.
right? With what
Awesome.
they could do.
Yeah.
We didn't lack. There was the love. Um, by the time I got into uni, my house was the base. All of us used to have that house that was the base at
Mm.
everybody, the
Yeah.
hangout base, the sleepover base, the friends
Nice.
that are not based in okay, so like but are not based in Lagos, for example, and
Mhm.
didn't want to
Yeah.
go back home for whatever
Yeah.
break it is. My house was the base, you know. So that's the kind of family I'm from, close
Mhm.
knit, everything, arranged,
It's
parents, supportive, everything. Yes, that's the
beautiful.
kind of how did it affect what was the next question? How did it affect my relationship?
So, person who your parents did not find money around, said to know your male friends, or did your mom used to call you? Like I remember that my mom would wake me up in the night and they talk about boys. Did you have all those kind of experiences with your parents?
So initially, yes, obviously, when we were a lot younger, so secondary school, primary school, secondary school. But so they would always want to know your friends. They would always want to know, and they would rather, like I said, my house was the base, so they would rather all your friends
Yeah.
come than you go.
Mm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So growing
Mm-hmm.
up, you want to go somewhere, driver will take you and bring you back. There was no,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go for party. That party. Whoa. I had one auntie
Mm.
that my auntie was the soji one. So it's like, auntie, help me beg them now. Let them let me go now.
Oh.
Then my auntie come beg them that don't lock these children. Let them enjoy.
Mm.
Da, 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 da. So reluctantly, sometimes they will allow us go, but driver will take
Mm.
you, stay with you,
Mm.
bring you back, that kind of thing. So I
Okay.
never, so for me, I never really had that freedom. But by the time I
Mm.
got into uni, okay, it's time
Mm.
to have boyfriend. It's okay. You can bring them.
Okay.
Like, well, honestly, I only had one relationship before my marriage. Yes, but yes,
Are you kidding me?
I only had one. I feel like
Wow.
my friends used to tease me that I wasted my youth.
Well, that's not.
I literally had one from SS3
Mm.
to NYSC.
Wow. Tell us
Yes.
how you guys met. Guys, this is a very, very interesting
So
conversation right now.
for my husband, so I met my husband during NYSC. Um,
Okay.
I served in JOS. So I'm
Okay.
one of those people that serving your country paid off because I brought husband back.
Ah.
So yeah. So we met through. I served in JOS. I didn't know anybody there, and then
Mhm.
we had a mutual friend school now and said, "Oh, I have a friend in this place, so that can help you. I'll be take you somewhere. I'll be take you out, make you at least not so bored and stuff." And yes, so that's how we met. The rest history. We're married.
No, you can't do that.
Honestly, that's how we met. So okay,
What?
so the friend called, connected us. They came over, took me out, and that's how the outing continued, and we progressed.
At that time where you guys met, were you already thinking about marriage? Did you have
No,
that in your mind, or you really just wanted to date and have fun?
for me, I just wanted to date and have fun.
So, at what point did you begin to think about marriage, or did it begin to transition into marriage?
Honestly, you said I can be vulnerable, Abby. Honestly, I
Please.
just went, so NYSC for me was freedom,
Mm,
no lock and key. And
mm,
then my parents, I went to a private university that
okay.
you're not allowed. You know, schools that you cannot go out. You have number
Mm-hmm,
of times you can leave school in a month. You have
mm-hmm.
so even my uni, I was still restricted. So
Yeah.
that NYSC, I mean, it was a way. So
Mm,
I had gotten to the point I did not work my NYC. I wanted to go wherever
mm.
they posted me
The
to. I didn't want.
way.
I,
Mm,
I wanted to experience that freedom. Yeah, so that's what it was.
yeah.
So at the time, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to have fun. That freedom. So
Mm,
marriage was the last thing on my mind. Serious relationship was the last thing on my mind. I didn't like. For me, it was just fun. I just wanted to have fun.
mm.
Honestly, that's what it
Okay.
was.
Okay. So, at what point in having fun did it begin to look like this is something serious?
My husband started becoming serious. Say he has met the bone
Mm,
of his bones and the flesh of his flesh.
wow.
But for me,
Mm,
it was still play. It was still so after NYC, okay, when we started getting serious after no, to me, I was playing. To
mm.
him, he had seen something in me that, he knew, oh, I wanted to be with this person. But for me, it was play.
Yeah.
And then after NYC, obviously, then because of what I had in my head, it was play. I was ready to end it. Like, first off, he was
Mm,
still working. He was working and he was obviously going to remain there. And I didn't want a long distance relationship. So I didn't want
okay.
that. And then, so I was ready to end it, and then he's like, we can't end it, and then he started
Mm,
trying to talk to me. He tried to talk me out of it, got my sisters to talk to
okay.
me and everything. And then, yeah.
Mm.
So, okay, let's give it a shot. And then,
Were you scared? Were you concerned about anything? Did you look out for anything?
nope.
Did you freak out like, okay, marriage, like, let me, what do I need to, am I sure, was there anything like that for you?
No, so I heard the other speakers for the past 4 or 5 days. I'm like, hey, God,
Yeah.
my own
Mm.
story is very different. My own story
Yes,
is very
please. We want
different because
mm-hmm.
I didn't, I was at the time, I wasn't dating because I had marriage in mind. I
Yes.
wasn't under any pressure to get. I got married at the age of 24,
Okay.
right after NYC. So it was.
Mm.
I honestly, I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any aspiration. I know
Mm.
I finished school. The next thing is work
Yeah.
and get married.
Mm.
It's what the
Mm-hmm.
society programmed into us. It's the next thing is work and marriage. So it was for me. It was almost like that's the next thing that's supposed to happen. It's not as if you know so I didn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't something I thought about twice. It wasn't something that
Yeah.
I didn't. So
Okay.
there
So
wasn't
tell us a
any
bit.
aim.
Okay. So tell us a bit about your husband. Why did you go ahead? What is unique
Uh,
about that you felt, okay, I'll stay because you really wanted to
so
leave?
for me, I just started noticing that he had a particular likeness for kids, and I think that
Mm,
also drew me to him because I'm from that family that, like I said, my parents were very involved with us. So
yeah.
to me, that was a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And my long relationship I talked about, it didn't really end well, right?
Okay.
And I was really, really invested in that relationship, right?
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was, well, you wanted to play. This person is serious. It looks like this person
Mm,
loved you more than you love him. Or
mm-hmm.
yeah. And then there was, oh, the one that you carried on your head that you loved, where did he lead you to? What happened?
Mm,
So why
mm,
not give this person a shot? Right. So
mm,
there was this yeah, he had this very fantastic love for kids, and also there was something he used to say about his upbringing and stuff, and how he really wanted to be so what he saw his mom go through, he didn't want his wife to go through that. So he was very
Mm.
particular. So the kind of men that will be the one to open door for you when you want to enter the
Oh
car,
yeah.
or when you
Oh
go out
yeah.
to taxi. Yes, or when you go out, he's the one that will pull out the chair for you to sit
Uh,
down.
uh,
Type of yes.
I didn't know those
So
men were still on earth. I thought they only live in
yes,
heaven.
they are. So
Wow.
yes, that's
Mm,
that was it for me at the end of the day. That was all.
mm.
No, nothing else.
Wow.
I'm not
Thank
going to
you.
lie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being very open and honest. Now, you've been married for 11 years. If you were to look back at your single life, would you say you made any mistakes?
Oh yeah.
Or would you
Oh yeah.
say, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So if you were to look back, would you say there are certain things that you would have given attention to as a single lady
Oh
or as
yeah.
a single
A lot.
person? Okay.
A
Would you
lot.
like to share some? Because here we have people who are serious life and they are looking to learn from some of the mistakes that you may have made so that they don't really have to go through that path anymore. Things that you have done better here, 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 especially when it came to dating, to know.
Okay. So for me, um,
Don't filter our conversation, Coach Tinuke,
I'm
please.
serious.
Don't
I'm
filter
trying to
it.
see where to start from because my mistakes are a lot. Like my mistakes are a lot. I'm just
Mm,
trying. So first of all, it was if I would advise, right? That's the question, right? From the mistakes I have
mhm.
made is
Yeah.
know yourself. That's the first step. So, okay, let me do a little talk on programming. We're all
Okay.
programmed. So I hear everybody, so far on my journey, right? Everybody talks about trauma, 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 trauma. And we think trauma is
Mm,
just if you have an accident or something painful happens to you, or somebody close to you dies, or
mm.
you were raped.
The
You have to be something big for you to think you have, or for you to. So a lot of people attribute trauma to that, or that's the only form of trauma that they know of, right? But there's so many
Mhm.
other types. There's
Mm,
emotional trauma, and
mm,
just okay. So backstory, something that pushed me, even on my journey, was I lost my son recently,
mm.
and
Wow.
to me that was trauma. And
Mm,
then that was when my journey started. And that's when I now realized that it's like this trauma that I thought it's not even that. I had so many other things that were doing me that I did not even know that I
wow.
had a problem with. So this my upbringing that I just described to you in this fine, fancy way. I didn't know
Yes.
that it traumatized me.
Wow. How do you
I
mean?
didn't know the effects.
Hmm.
So if I would advise anyone, like heal, first of all, just go on that journey because for everything that we do in life is from your so how do I explain this easily? Um, okay, a trash can, right?
Mm,
We have a trash can with trash inside, and it's in the
mm,
kitchen. It's full,
mm,
and rats are coming, lizard,
mm,
all these whatever things, and flies. And we say,
mm,
this place, this kitchen is annoying me. Yeah, everything is
mm,
just coming. Then you
mm,
move that bin to the
mm.
living room.
Ah,
Those rats, everything will still come to the living room,
yeah.
right? If you move it to the living room upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
those things will still follow because it's what is inside that can that they're attracted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But by the time you remove the bag, the trash
Mm,
bag,
yeah.
the can itself is whole.
Mm,
You will see
mm,
that those rats, those lizards, those things. So in the kitchen now, it's probably Tunde. In the living room now, it's probably Emeka.
mm,
Upstairs is probably Leke. It's probably,
mm-hmm.
do you understand? These are the people
Yeah.
that we're dating. So it can be Tinuke, it can be Bosse, it can be Nkechi, it can be, that's how trauma works. But until you empty that can, until you
Mm,
work on yourself, until you heal, until you understand your programming,
mm,
then you are now whole, and then you can now attract the right person for you, and
Mm.
then start working on yourself, updating yourself, like upgrading yourself. So for me, one thing I'll always like, upgrade yourself, upgrade yourself, upgrade,
Mm.
renew your mind, things like that.
Yeah. I have a question because I'm
Yes.
just putting myself in the shoes of the people here, and they are wondering, okay, I need to heal, but I don't feel like I'm sick. What am I healing myself from? Would you like to share maybe some of the mistakes that you feel you made, maybe practical terms, so that we can actually connect with how this, because that childhood that you explained was very beautiful. So I'm wondering how that's caused trauma for you. Maybe you could
Okay.
give us some examples of those mistakes if you don't mind sharing. Maybe we can
Okay.
actually see what you're really talking about.
Okay. So I'll be the case study here.
Yeah.
I'll use my story so that it's
Yeah.
related. I like to tell stories so that it's very relatable. So after my marriage, for example,
Mhm.
I had expectations.
Mm.
So my dating, where I like to party a lot. So we used to go out a lot. We're always
Mhm.
outside.
Mhm.
And then we got married and I expected it to stop. I didn't
Mm.
communicate it. Some things that are in your head, they're automatic. This person should know.
That you should stop.
Yes. Because
Mm.
now we're married.
Mm.
Now we have to start planning. Now we need to start saving. Now we need to start this. Now we need to start that. But there was no prior communication.
Mm. Mm.
Now,
Mm.
if you don't even know yourself, how do you even know what you want? How do you even know the conversations to have with someone? So
Mm.
I hear values, know your values, know all of these things. They are extremely important. But how do you get to that point that you even know your values?
Mm.
How aware of you are you?
Mm. Mm. Wow.
Do you understand? So
Mm-hmm.
is okay. I from my parents are still together. They are still married, right? Okay.
Mm.
So marriage is love me, I love you back. That's
Mm.
what it was for me. Love me, I love
Yeah.
you back. So all
Mm.
these conversations, so we don't think of parenting, we don't think of money, with so many things that I did not think of.
That it was really that serious in marriage.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. And that's so when I say programming, because if you understand your programming, what I've seen is in relationships, whether opposite sex or same, relationship with people,
Mm.
most times we don't really clash. When you have issues with people, it's not you and the person, it's just your values and your alignments that are clashing.
Mm.
It's not really about that person.
Yeah.
It's just what is important to me is not important to that person.
Yeah. Mm.
Now, is so for me now I'm now in a place where I'm dealing with people, and it's not really for me. I don't ask what is wrong with you. My question is what happened to you, because
Mm.
I know better now. Because now I keep saying programming, programming.
Yeah.
There are things that we've seen growing up that have become normal to us, and
Mm-hmm.
other people, these things are not normal to them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So your childhood is a very, very, very important part of you.
Mm.
Now you're coming in contact with somebody else that was not raised in the same house as. First of all, even if you are raised in the same house, it doesn't mean you are the same. It doesn't mean everything about both of you will be the same.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
very different from all of my siblings. We are all very different individuals. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Now you're
Mm-hmm.
coming in with someone else from totally different backgrounds, totally,
Mm-hmm.
and then so it's now a question. Is now the issues we usually have in marriage is your normal against this person's normal is now clashing.
Yes.
Do you understand? So for
Yes.
me, I had listened to people. I did not read any book, I'm not even lying. But I had
Mm.
listened to people, I had seen things, I had heard things, and
Before you got married.
yes. But I couldn't, what's the word? Assimilate it.
Yeah. It was just talk for
It
you.
was just talk. I
Mm.
couldn't and unfortunately for us, I've seen that we're really, really we're not taught how to think. We're
Mm.
taught what to think. They don't teach you how to think. They teach
How?
you what to think based on what they know too. That's how they
Mm.
raise you. So is what you should think. They always teach you what they bring us up, teaching us what to think. Do it like this, do it like that. For some people, do you know, on my journey, just for some people that I've worked with, the constant telling them what to do, it kills your side of the brain that can be creative.
Yes.
The constant being there for me was killing that part of me. I didn't know. So do you understand?
Constant being there for you was preventing
Constant,
you from actually sitting down to think for yourself.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
as parents, that's something that I'm always particular about, because
Hmm.
you're constant correcting this child. You're correcting from a place of love.
Yeah.
You're correcting from a place of, I don't want you to make them, because in a lot of times we project our fears and our problems on our kids.
Hmm.
It happened to me, I don't want it to happen to you. If you check all the traumas that all of us have, it's not that most times it's not really happened to us. It happened to
Hmm.
some men has come, men has come. Some people have not even dated, but
Yes.
you're already programmed to know that men has come. So it's
Wow.
other people's trauma, other people's pain that we now
Hmm.
carry on our head. And that's that's that's
Yeah.
that's something that I wish I knew.
Hmm.
That's
Wow.
something that I wish I knew.
Please, we want to hear more. We want to hear more because you said you have so many mistakes, and I'm like, it's a drum full. And I like that this conversation is very different from every other session that we've had because somebody might be here and be like, ah, I've heard this thing, his values is this, oh, you just, how about people that didn't? Does that mean that the marriage will end? And you're still married, that means that there is something that you eventually did. Can you just tell us a bit more, maybe one or two? You talked about unexpressed communication, talk about the fact that you're not really allowed to think. What else? That says, please give us more scenarios we can relate with. You said you would use yourself as a case study. You see, so yeah, we want to really, you know, feel
Okay,
feel that experience a bit so that it shakes
okay,
us and know that this thing is serious business.
okay. So so I'll use growing up, I was always corrected. Do it
Mm,
like this. Don't do it like this.
mm,
Subconsciously, what that did to me was I became very, very defensive.
mm,
Am I the only one? Why are you always correcting me? It
mm,
now became, it's like everything I do is not okay.
mm,
Then I became angry. I used to be an angry person.
mm.
I
Wow.
became extremely angry.
Mm,
So anybody that corrects me, see, with what I with now, if you
mm,
correct me, well, no, not now. Then, if you correct me,
yeah.
it's taking. Do you know that you can be 40, but you are stuck at something that happened to you at age 13?
Yes, 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 yes. Mm,
So for me, then, with my age, whatever age I was, it wasn't really, now I can say it this way because now I know,
mm-hmm.
right? So for
Yeah.
someone that doesn't know, if you're always angry, if you're always defensive, if you don't know how to express yourself, so imagine you grew up in a house that something is paining you or something happens and you are crying and they're asking, is that why you're crying? Is it because of this small
Mm,
thing you're crying?
mm,
My friend, will you stop crying? Would you
mm,
behave yourself? Men don't
mm,
cry.
mm,
You
mm.
are programming. That's how that's the programming I'm talking about too. So
Yeah.
those things that we heard, okay, let me quickly tell you how we are programmed. We're programmed in three ways:
Okay.
verbal, things that you hear all the time. Money does not grow on trees. You have to work hard
Mm,
to have money.
yeah.
To be successful, you have to do this. Uh,
Mm,
all men are like this. Men will always
mm,
cheat. There's no
mm,
good woman anywhere.
mm-hmm.
That's verbal
River.
program. You
Mm,
are hearing it.
yeah.
No, what the Bible says about faith. You're
Mm,
constant hearing.
yeah.
So the constant hearing too is doing something to you. That's one.
Mm,
Two is
mm,
modeling. What did you see the people are your caretakers, your parents, if you were raised by grandparents, if you were raised by uncles, whatever, those
people around
authority
you.
figures, what were they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Parenting, raising kids is not do as I say, is monkey see, monkey do, is do as I do. So
Mm,
automatically is so for some people, I know someone that waking up to pray is a norm.
Yeah.
That's what she saw her mother do. So it doesn't cost her. It's like she's ready to pray
Just the
anytime.
way you wake up and brush your teeth.
Yes, exactly. But for people that do not see their parents pray or their, it's strange.
Yes.
So that's an example, right?
Yeah.
So modeling, what did you see? What did you, what were they doing in front of you all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
there's now the significant emotional experience. There's something has happened, or
Mm.
something happened while you were a child or growing up, or something that's made you stuck, kept you stuck, locked you in that place. I'll give you an example. There was someone that I worked with, and growing up for her, parents used to clash, especially when it came to money.
Mm.
So when she was 11, they went out to have dinner. And then these arguments broke between her parents about money. And as the
Mm.
man was shouting, 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 next thing, and she just saw him go down. Her father died. So
Wow.
she was in the swimming club and everything. So she knew how to do CPR. So she was trying to do that on the guy. Her father literally
Mm.
died in her arms.
Oh God.
That person has attributed money is pain to that person.
Yes. Yes. There's an anchor that's been
Yes,
built.
that
Yeah.
anchor, thank you, has been made. That person, you see that she can never be wealthy, she can never have money in her life. Because even if money comes
Mm.
to her, that thing,
Unknowingly,
knowingly, she
unconsciously,
will push
it has
away.
to go.
You
Mm.
understand? She now became a
Yeah.
nurse onto, I want to help. This. Do you know that on her journey, she discovered that nursing is not, it's just because of what happened to her. It's not as if that's her happy place.
Mm.
Do you understand? That's an
Yeah.
example of emotional thing that can happen and lock you there, keep you there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you see your father do to your mom? What did you see your mom do to your dad? That I know someone
Mm.
that for her, she's like the breadwinner of the house. It's not
Mm.
that she wants to be, but that's what was modeled
Mm.
to her. Do you
Mm.
understand? So for me, that's
Mm.
other people's story. Now let me come back to me. I now became angry. I became defensive. Forgiveness
Mm.
was war. I did not know how to. If we fight today, can take me another month to diffuse that anger, that pain.
Mm.
So you can imagine what
Wow.
that would have done in my
Your
marriage.
mind.
So even when
Yeah.
whether I'm at fault or I would get angry and I would not be able to
Mm.
release it. I did not know
Mm.
emotions. Deal with what are emotions? Oh, like I don't like.
Mm.
Do you understand? Is because it's
Yeah.
love. It's just if he loves you and you love the person. No. So
Mm.
understand your emotions. Being, you know how they say now that you can be. It's not about IQ anymore. It's not about
Yeah.
IQ. And the way the world
Mm-hmm.
is going now, it's not about IQ anymore. But being able, you know how they say, emotions drive people and people
Yeah.
drive performance. So your
Yeah.
performance in every area of your life is driven by how
Mm-hmm.
you feel.
Yeah.
And how you feel is also coming from your programming.
Mm.
Do you understand? So that's
Yeah.
majorly what it was for me. So I didn't know how to forgive. I was always angry. Communicate and no. What's that thing that once I think it, I expect you to know it.
Mm. Mind
And it
reading.
comes with us, with women too. You
Mind
think,
reading.
he's supposed to know. Is it not my husband? It's not my boyfriend. He's supposed to know. You should
Mm.
figure it out.
Mm.
Meanwhile, the way I want to be loved is not the way you want to be loved. My love language might not be your love language.
Mm.
There's no default way of loving anybody. It's understanding your partner. How does this
Mm.
person want to be loved?
Mm.
So that I can love you. I'm not dating men. I'm
Mm-hmm.
dating you.
You.
But for me to even come to that place that I want to even know how to date you, means that I must know I want you to love me so that I can
Yeah.
also tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yes, that's what I mean by programming. That's so
Mm.
is, and then also see. I mean, I like to go back. It's always programming for me because
Yeah.
so there's a book I read, and he said his wife, growing up for her, whenever she wants ice cream, she will say, "Mommy, I want money for ice cream." Mom will say, "I don't have money. Go and meet your daddy." She will go to her daddy for money for ice cream, and her father will give her money. You see what that thing has done to her? Women are not meant to have money. It's the men that are supposed to have the money to take care
Mm.
of you.
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
the way you are, the way you think is coming from somewhere. We have to
Mm.
first of all address it.
Is that how we
So
came about the man must be the breadwinner?
do you understand? So for
Yeah.
her is the man was, so she grew up with that mentality. Now she now married someone that was very conservative and always is big on future. So let's save now for the future we want.
Yeah.
So every time my husband denied her something that she wanted, she attributed it to the man not loving her. She
Hmm.
attributed it to the man disturbing greatness in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
they would always clash, always clash. So my tip for dating for people, single people, is first of all know your programming.
Hmm.
Before you go into them, now sit down. This is my own programming about
Hmm.
money. This is it about this, it about that, parenting, everything. Talk
Hmm.
about it, and then now say, okay, oh, even though this is how I was raised, I don't like it. I'm seeing how it's no longer serving me.
Hmm.
Both of us now come together. Okay, well, we're going to get married as Mr. and Mrs. This. What do we want? Because there's nothing like that's how I am. There's nothing, you
Hmm.
can reprogram yourself. You can
Yeah.
upgrade yourself. You can work towards that. Even if you did not have it, you
Hmm.
can work on it to get it. Yes.
Hmm.
And then obviously effective. So I know for me, it was communicate, communicate. There's no small thing to talk about. Don't assume, talk about it. Do you know you can be talking about it and not talking about it effectively?
Hmm. True. Hmm.
There's a saying in Yoruba. I don't even know how to say it in Yoruba. That's the problem. But
Hmm.
it's something about pele. Sorry can mean well. You know why I say sorry, and then you're not going to say,
Yes.
I'm really sorry for the way. Like it's
Yes.
the same sorry I'm saying, but in
Mm-hmm.
different ways. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there's also that effective, because sometimes when we deal with, especially when we are still hurting and we're not healed, um, sometimes we listen, but we're just listening to defend ourselves. We're not listening to hear where that person is coming from.
Hmm.
There are some things you will say to me about something I have done to you, and my only response to you is to defend. But there's
Hmm.
a way you can bring that same thing to me, and I understand how you feel.
Feel.
Because I love you,
Hmm.
I would want to address the way you feel, because that is not
Feel.
how I want you to feel, especially when you are
Yes.
with me.
Yes. 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 I like that. Hmm.
Do you understand? There's that
Yeah.
as well. So
Hmm.
it still boils down to knowing yourself, knowing your programming, healing first. You know, the Bible says about one would chase how many people?
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And tell me, give me
1,000.
the number.
A
And two would
thousand.
chase how many?
3,000.
When you are not whole, how do you want to chase that thousand? You say, is it you that you are still chasing 250? That you
Hmm.
want to come with somebody that is chasing 250?
Hmm.
Do you understand? So it's
Yeah.
first of all understanding yourself, knowing your identity,
Hmm.
knowing that, reprogramming yourself first. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm doing well in my career. I'm now the head of Kiniko. I'm now I'm doing this. I'm doing big things. But you know
Hmm.
that I know people that are doing so well financially and career wise, but they
Yeah.
don't have the ability to maintain relationships
Yes. Absolutely.
because there's something somewhere that they haven't dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I said about my husband, how he used to open the door for me, pull
Mm-hmm.
the chair out. You know, after we got married, he stopped
Hmm. Hmm.
because honestly, I did not have the capacity to receive that type of love.
Wow.
So there
Wow.
are some times that you want some things, and subconsciously you are the one that you are pushing that thing away
Away
from you
from
because
you.
of your mindset and how you think is the way you are, not
Hmm.
knowing that it's something that you saw your father do or something that you saw your mother do that
Hmm.
made you say, no man would ever treat me like this. Nobody would
Mm-hmm.
ever treat me like this. And you lock
Yeah.
that part of you up.
Mm-hmm.
Subconsciously, you build walls around yourself to protect yourself
Mm-hmm.
from being hurt, from being vulnerable.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even that love that you deeply, deeply, deeply desire, if that love comes to you, you cannot receive it.
Hmm.
You can't hold it.
Hmm.
So I'll keep sharing my story. Sorry.
Hmm.
After I lost my son, that pain, that emotional pain, that anger that I already had, plus this one,
Yeah.
plus
Hmm.
this thing. I remember the first message I sent to the therapist I worked with. It was like, help me. My life is. I had gotten to the end of the cliff, that I
Hmm.
knew that It's either I do something to change this thing or I'll fall and kill
Mm.
myself or something,
Wow.
And on that journey, I started to, let me backtrack.
Okay.
I moved to a new country.
Okay.
My son was diagnosed of cancer. I moved
Mm.
to a new country, but we
Mm.
moved, my kids and my mom, for treatment. Found
Mm.
out I was pregnant. All of this journey with my son battling for his life was with me being
Wow.
pregnant. We're going for chemo with my big stomach.
Oh
Effects
my
of
God.
chemo, he cannot walk, he cannot talk. I'm carrying him with my big stomach. Everybody in the hospital
Mm.
knew me at the time because it's like, how are you able to do this?
Do
Like it's as
all
if
of
it's
this.
do now being pregnant. You see
Mhm.
cravings. Where?
Yeah.
Who is
Mm.
satisfying it? I didn't have any. Where's the time? You
Oh
know.
my God.
So I had been through hell for a couple of years in a new country that I don't know. Remember how I said I was so close to my family?
Yeah.
Nobody. I only had my mom.
Mm.
No friends, nobody in. So every support I had was online,
Sorry.
right? Very far away. And then, so you can imagine the dent that would also do in my marriage. That's where I'm
Mm.
going. So
Yeah.
my mind were already on the. In fact, I had gotten to the point where I told God that, see, God, if this boy should survive, I know that you want this marriage to work. If this boy should
Yeah.
die, I know that it's the end.
Mm. Because I was even going
So,
to ask you, so how did you pick things up there? So yeah, go ahead.
so when he passed, that was my own sign that this thing, God does not want it to continue, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
I now started this journey. You know that this same thing I'm talking about, I could not forgive, I could not. I now started seeing how myself, I'm the cause of my own problem.
We're contributing to it.
Before
Mm.
then, there's nothing you can tell me. My husband was the devil. He's the only one
Mm.
that had a fault. Me, I was
Yeah.
a perfect girl.
Mm. Mm.
So that's when I
Mm.
started seeing that, see, oh no, I also had a role to play
Play.
in
Yeah.
it as
Mm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always, so for me, that's something that drives me now because I wish I had platforms like yours back then to listen to people that would tell me all these things that I would have worked on all of these things before.
Mm.
So for
Mm.
single people on this platform now listening, first of all,
Mm.
congratulations.
Mm.
And
Honestly.
applaud yourself. In fact, be glad you are single now.
Yes. Yeah.
Be glad you are single now because this investment,
Mhm.
this thing that you are going to do on yourself now. Remember what I said
Mm.
about the trash bag, the bin.
Yes.
I promise you, the quality of people that you will attract, there's this law of your
Mm.
attraction. There's the way that it all works. The Bible says that
Mm.
everything works together for your good
Mm-hmm.
because God is very intentional. You are single now is for a reason.
Mm.
Even if it's breakfast that they served you that made you come here, that you want to learn something, be grateful for that breakfast because that's how your
Yeah.
resilience is growing. Because for me,
Mm-hmm.
like I see now that if I didn't go through all that I went through, maybe the marital issues I had, my upbringing, whatever, I probably would not have been as resilient as I am now. And I don't
Yes.
know how
Yes.
I would have coped with what I went through
Mm.
with my son and being pregnant, being in a new terrain, and all of those things, if all of
Mm-hmm.
those things didn't happen to me.
Mm.
So now I'm at a place where it's like, no, all things work together for my good, even though at the
Yeah.
time it wasn't good.
Mm.
So
Mm.
there's it also, all of these things I'm talking about also comes with a mindset shift. Programs like Lab now, what it's going to do for you is that way you are thinking about men, that is making
Mm.
you attract that quality that you are even running away from. Do you know that in life is what you run from that you attract the most, that you get the most?
Mm.
Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we focus on what we don't want. We don't even know what
These
we
are
want.
what we
What
want.
we want.
Yes.
And that's what programs like Lab would do for you. Like, okay, open your eyes to see, because we have limiting beliefs that we don't even know that we have.
Yes.
There are things that are limiting that you don't even know, you're not even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what programs like this would do for you. Open your eyes to see certain things about yourself that, okay, maybe this is why. This is why this is like this. Okay, I can work on it.
Mm.
I hope this makes sense.
Absolute, absolute, absolute sense. I really even liked when you talked about the fact that one of the things we don't like to do is to think. Because honestly, as you're speaking out, some people are still telling themselves, I know that me, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm okay. I was raised well. Everything is okay. For me, for example, when I got into marriage, different seasons of my lives revealed different areas that needed to be reworked. Was it when I got married? Was it communication? Was it when I started having kids and parenting? I would shout, and then I realized that this was not the way to go. And I had to begin to sit with myself because every decision was coming from a deep rooted place. I
Yes,
thought I was thinking straight and thinking clearly, but in real sense, I wasn't. I was just
absolutely.
making decisions because my unconscious mind was used to a certain pattern that I was just following. And then I now
Ab-
begin to sit down and think. Somebody came to me see maybe 2 years ago, and she said, "I just want to relax and be taken care of." I looked at that. I said, "Me too. That used to be me.
Don't feel.
I want to relax and be taken care. Not that I did not go to school, not that I'm not educated." And then when I realized that this kind of thought was limiting me, I had to now begin to dream bigger
Yes,
for myself. Not because I wanted to prove that my husband could take care or not take care of me. It wasn't about that. It was more about I'm also a being that was created for a certain reason and purpose. And my own wealth can do so much more in the world, talk more admit to my husband's own.
yes.
So many actions that we take now. So people say things like, I cannot marry an Igbo man.
Ah,
Just that
mm,
alone, because you're Yoruba, because you have held on to certain beliefs of other people, like you said, who they marry Igbo men and they experience X, Y, Z. You did not marry an Igbo man. You have never, but you have embraced their own negative experience and
mm,
told yourself that this will be my reality. And guess what? A lot of times, when you begin to have that certain mindset, you would unconsciously push away good people.
yes.
And
Because
in
what you're
telling you,
expecting. You
yes,
only get what you're expecting. You won't get
yeah,
anything above or it's what you're
exactly.
expecting. It's what you're expecting.
Wow, these conversations are so important. And this was the reason why I decided to do this series and then to launch Lab. For those who are just joining us, Lab is the Love Accelerator Bootcamp, which is a 3-day bootcamp I'm launching and we're having in February. And it's just an opportunity for you to really come and just hear more. See, if you think, oh, it's because I'm still single, I need to learn, it's a lie. Even when you're 50 years married, there's so many things that you still need. Tanika is telling you now, right? She's taking certification. She did not just get here. She did not just get here. She's
Mm,
taking programs. She's on learning. Minds are shifting. You know, till years to come, I will still be in class because the more I know, I think it was Dr. Dami that was saying it. The
that's
more
it.
I know, is the more I realize how much I do not know.
Yes.
And when I look at people, I'm like, I wish you know. Tanika, did you cry? Did you ever did you ever cry with all of the things that you went through?
I, I've been married for 12 years,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
And so I talked about how my husband was right.
yeah.
This programming, these things made my marriage hell,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And this journey that I have been on now
mm,
has changed this same marriage I'm saying was hell.
mm,
Do you
mm,
understand?
yeah.
So it's not for me, things like this, it's not usually just book
Mm-hmm,
knowledge, it's
mm,
experience, like things that I have seen. I have
yeah.
been on that side that I'm doing well now. My business is doing well. My
Mm,
job, I'm okay. I don't have any
mm-hmm,
problem.
yeah.
Honestly, before my son passed, I did not think I had any problem.
Mm,
It was this journey. Another thing I've seen is, like you said, this journey is the only person that should not be going on any journey is who that did. As long as
mm,
you're alive, you would always learn something new about yourself. You always learn something new. It is in the back. So, the biggest thing for me is even my relationship with God. It
mm,
changes because the way you see yourself it will cut across every area of your life.
aspect.
So
Yeah.
imagine someone with daddy issues that her
Mm,
father was never there for her emotionally. Her
yeah.
father never did anything for her.
Mm.
Then you are now in Nigeria. It's as if everybody born in Nigeria, first of all, you all of us need to heal. We have to go through
All of
therapy,
us,
first of all.
honestly,
Because then you now go
honestly.
to church that they are saying your enemies must die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, fire, fire.
Mm,
You see that you have seen God self as a villain.
mm,
you're so even your capacity to act. So for me, right, with all that I had been through with my upbringing, my programming, my trauma that I did not even know I had,
God.
I craved love that I did not even have the capacity to receive.
Mm. Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I didn't have the capacity to receive the love I wanted. So
Mm.
what happened for me, for example, is it got. Let me tell you how bad it was. When my son was ill, my friends were a pillar for me.
Mm-hmm.
My friends were a support. Like, but you know that at the back of my head somewhere, I was saying, because it's cancer that they're still with, because my son is sick, it's because it's cancer. It's not that they really love me. Do you
Mm.
understand?
Mm. Mm.
And this is me. I didn't even grow up from a home that there was no love.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like I will still remind myself that it's because of what I'm going through that these people love me. It's not because it's
Mm.
me.
It's you.
And I carry that thing around and like no. So in my head is I'm very. Let me tell you what I think about myself. I'm dumb. I used to think I'm dumb. I used to think I had nothing to offer.
Mm.
I used to think I didn't have the capacity to do anything. So obviously, imagine my relationship with money. Imagine my relationship
Mm.
with my husband. Imagine my relationship with my
Yeah.
children. Do you know I could not even hug my kids at a time? Why am
Mm.
I hugging you? Are you doing birthday? So it's
Wow.
like it's
Mm.
just because that's I'm providing for you. That's all that I should do as a
Good
mom.
for you.
You
Mm.
have clothes, you are going to school, you are eating. I'm taking you to play dates, I'm taking you swimming. There
Yeah.
was no emotional because you cannot give what you don't have.
Yes.
I did not have it. Where will I get it from to give?
Mm.
So my friendships, my everything, because there was this programming, there was this mindset
What
that
is
I had
blocking you?
that was blocking me. Do you understand?
Mm.
So is honestly for me is it's not about the other person.
Mm.
Everything you want to do in your life, it starts from you.
Mm-hmm.
Parenting starts from you. Eh,
Mm-hmm.
See, it's the first take responsibility for your life.
Yeah.
Those men that you are even that are serving you breakfast that you keep attracting a certain type of men is you. So if you
Mm.
take responsibility and change certain things about yourself, you see that the people that you are even attracting will change.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that you know that there are people that it's only married men that come to them.
Yes.
It's
Yes. Yes.
married
Yes.
men on their case. Do you know, like
Yeah.
if you check deep down, those
Mm-hmm.
people have daddy issues.
Yeah.
That thing that they wish their father could give them,
Mm.
that they did not get from their father, is what they look for in married men and
Mm-hmm.
older men.
Mm.
The people that would only date older men, if you go and check it and sit with them, that's where it's stemming from.
Mm.
I'm giving this scenario I'm trying to make it very relatable so
Yeah.
that you see that it's not because they did not rape you, it's not because
Or
you don't know
somebody died, somebody did not die, or something like that.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not just about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you are programmed in a certain way. Let me
Mm.
so another example I like to give is a thermostat. Let's say
Okay.
you program the air conditioning in your house to say
Mm-hmm.
75 degrees, right? It's on
Yeah.
75. And someone else comes in, this house is hot now. Then they open the window
Mm.
for fresh air to come in.
Yeah.
You know that when that fresh air comes in, once it's higher than 75, that thermostat will lock it again.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's how your subconscious, that's how everything works because it's from your subconscious first.
Mm.
And even with us, as an individual, except there's an intervention,
Mm.
90% of the time you replicate your parents' marriage.
Yes.
If there's no intervention, you are only going to replicate your parents. So go and check all the people that you have been dating. And this is me assuming everybody here is single. Go
Yeah.
and check your dating series, all the people that you have
Mm-hmm.
dated. Go and look at your father, look at your mother. You'll be able to pick. This one is my father, that is my mom. You will pick it from there.
Mm. Because that's
Sorry,
what
I feel
you're
like
doing.
I've not allowed you to ask all your questions. Please go
No, no, no,
ahead.
no, no, it's fine. I don't even have too many questions anymore because honestly, I feel like I have gotten, we have gotten the juice of your story and the lessons that we need to learn. I don't know if you guys have any questions in the chat. If you do, please drop it. I would like to take maybe one or two questions, before we go because this is a real experience. And many a times we see people see marriage as happily ever after. Like just enter, just jolly. Even God did not promise you that kind of experience. right? There is going to be ups and downs and all of that. So, Tanika, I want to ask you, did you at any point in time say you want to leave, like pack your bag and go? Like
Ah,
you're doing this marriage?
plenty. I told you now that it got to the point that I even spoke to God that if my son should die, it means that this marriage
Mm,
is end. Yes,
mm,
a lot of times.
mm,
A lot
mm.
of times. Like I is so is if I knew better, like these single people, I swear is I'm
Yeah,
excited that they
yeah.
are single. I'm
Mm,
telling you because some
mm,
of the mistakes that a lot of us had made,
mm,
programs like this lab program would help you not to
mhm,
realize it first before you even
mhm,
enter. Because a lot of
mm.
us is when we have entered and they've started seeing Shege inside. And
Yeah.
it's inside that's why you will hear,
Mm.
you know how they say it's what you focus on that will grow. And that's
Yes.
why you hear a lot of people say, oh, is men are like this, marriage is like this, marriage, and we're focusing on marriage a certain way. Marriage is
Mm-hmm.
pain. And then everybody
Mm-hmm.
that knows that they're married, they're going through marital issues. They are going through,
Yeah.
but you know, there are also marriages that they are doing so well. Marriages
Yeah.
are sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And this healing and programs like lab,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that we're guaranteeing you Miss Sparkles is going to teach you how not to have frictions in your marriage. You are
Mm.
two different. Even they say you're right, like your teeth and your tongue would always fight. You're as close as
Yeah.
they are. But it
Mm-hmm.
is how to manage such conflict effectively,
Yeah.
how to understand your own emotions and take responsibility for your own emotions.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like he made me do it. It's because you're like
Mm.
this that I'm now taught to
Yes.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that it was in my marriage, and
Yeah.
a lot of the people I've worked with, I've seen that it's almost a norm.
That's it.
And
Yes.
that's one thing pain does. It changes you. You won't even realize you
Mm.
become a bitter person.
Yes. So
That's when somebody's coming to
intensely.
you for advice and like, oh, you better
Yeah.
don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't
Mm-hmm.
you now become bitter.
You're
You now start
projecting your
transferring your
own.
pain
Mm.
to other people. Do
Yeah.
you understand? That's how the vicious cycle goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Those I've learned now and I've seen those things that we saw our parents do is because
Mm-hmm.
they also saw their parents do it. There was
Yes.
nobody to question anything. I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to someone and saying how there's this lady that he knows that used to whenever she doesn't eat the tail of fish and the head. So
Mm.
whenever she goes to buy fish,
Mm-hmm.
she always cut it off. And he asked her that, have you ever why? She said, and that's how my mother taught me. That's how we used to eat fish growing up.
Wow.
He now asked her that, have you ever asked your mom why? Like,
Wow.
why? She said no. She now
Mm-hmm.
picked up her phone and called her mom. Guess what her mom said? That's how
Wow.
my mother taught me.
Wow.
Luckily, grandma was still alive. Do you know that they now called grandma? Guess what grandma said?
My mother.
That's how her mother taught her.
Whoa, whoa. Hmm.
By the time they got to the end of the cycle, guess
You
what?
not see
The woman's
anything.
pot, the originator, her pot was small.
Chai,
There was no
Jesus.
space in the pot for the other parts. So that's
Oh
why it's
my
only the
God.
middle that she used to cook.
Chai.
No be saying there was no other reason. It's just that's why
Sheesh.
it was removed. And see, do you know how many generations? And that's how we pass trauma. That's how we pass pain. Broken marriages is if you are raised by a single person, either your mom or your dad. Not like there's anything wrong in being single. There's if it's for your life, you can run. But
Yeah.
the chances of you also being a single is very high if you don't do
Mm,
something about it.
mm,
And that's where
mm.
I keep saying programs like lab, because it's programs like this that transformed me as well
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know better, because I
Mm-hmm.
know that if we all know better we will do better. Do you
Mm,
understand?
mm.
So
Yes.
there's something you're afraid of.
Hi. Yeah, my body is biting me for that person. And the thing is, it's not every experience that you need to start seeking to change. The
No.
question is, what is empowering you?
Yes.
If it's working well for you, continue, don't have problem. Because look at this fish experience now. You're just wasting food.
Fish. Yes.
Food that should last you 4 days now will last 2 days
Yes.
because your great
Yeah.
great grand. You know when I gave birth to my second son and I came back to Nigeria, I was telling my husband I'm not waiting for 3 months. Why do I have to wait for 3 months to go to church and do baby dedication? I can go to the market. I go to the hospital. I go to see my friend with the 3 weeks. They okay, yeah, okay. They have to wait 6 weeks because of the environment, the air. No problem. 6 weeks I waiting. Why am I waiting? Why is it 3 months? Nobody could give me any.
That's
My
it.
baby was 2 months. I carried my baby, went to church, left my baby, and I went home. There's some things that there's even one now that I'm still struggling with people, but they say it's culture. Using your left hand to give somebody something. Please tell me what is wrong with my left hand? Like if this hand breaks now and I can't do anything again, would you accept 1,000 naira note from this left hand? If there's a reason why you accept it, why can't you accept it with my right hand? What is wrong? But these are beliefs, cultural beliefs that we've
Yes,
held on to
yes,
for years,
yes.
and it may not be serving you, but we'll just keep
It's still
doing it over
yes,
and over and over
yes.
again. You know?
So that's one thing I was going to say as well for single people. Like, so it's not that everything where you are, everything is trauma or there's a problem. Is now
Mm,
identifying the one that is not serving you. I'm
yeah.
not doing well in my
Hmm.
finances. I
Hmm.
want to work on it. If
Yeah.
you check, there's something. I'm not doing well in this. There are some parts of your childhood or whatever it is that is serving you. Remember, my resilience is from there. Oh, it's serving
Mm,
me because I grew up in a home that my father wants to do something. Is now. Once he thinks of it, is now. So there's that thing that we have to do it now, and it's serving me
mm,
because it's making me push. So there are
mm,
some things that you want to do. It's not everything that is from trauma, but there's
mm,
still some that it's okay. Yes, I was raised this way. It's serving me. Yes, it's serving me. I want to keep it. It's no longer
mm,
serving me. I can work on it. That's all
mm,
that we're saying.
mm,
You can reprogram the one. You can basically reprogram your life. You can anything
mm.
that is not working. There's nothing like there's an age you will be in or get to that you can still keep saying that's how I am. That's how I am. It will work for you. But it
Yeah.
gets to a point in your life where that's how I am no longer serves you. You can't be
Mm,
35, 40, whatever, like, and you are saying that's how I am. You are
yeah.
shy.
Hmm.
You know that this thing I'm talking about also alters your personality.
Yes, it does.
This version of me, this was not the version of me before I started this journey. I used to be
Mm,
extremely shy. This thing, talking to people, hey, even though you
mm,
cannot see me, I cannot.
mm, mm,
I
mm,
and I've now started understanding where it was coming from, and now start reprogramming and reconditioning.
mm,
You know,
mm.
do it afraid. All of these things. So for me, is I used to hear all these things before.
So you never
I know a
internalize.
lot of yes, a lot of us, a lot of single people. I know that's one problem that a lot of people have that they've come again. Motivational speakers, inspired
Yeah.
to finish. They've come. They are
Mm,
saying it again. But
mm.
when I started to unpack all of these things, fortunately, unfortunately, I've now become one of those people that say things like that as well because
Yeah.
now I see and there's a whole
Yeah.
lot of difference in it.
Yeah, a client
Yes.
was telling me yesterday that how much she used to dislike all these aspire to perspire coaches. And afraid they will laugh at them. See this one nonsense. Just play people's member, blah blah blah. But then obviously she came to me because she needed help in some certain areas, and she has started seeing her results. And she was telling the same friend that they used to like, "Omo, I've joined them. Oh. Me, I'm not aspire to perspire too." Because I was able to help her see how a simple experiences. I think one of the experiences that she had was that she was looking for a job and she didn't get a job. She came back to Nigeria, she didn't get a job, and she got wet going to look for the job. That experience just created some anchor in her.
Mm,
As simple as that, though. As
mm,
that. And one or two other things happened, and then it began to affect a major aspect in our life.
mm.
So
That's always
when
it.
we talk, yes, when we talk about these things, we are not joking. Somebody asked a question, says, "Are there tools for unpacking your current programming, please? Are there
Join
tools
lab.
for unpacking?" He said, "Join love." Yes.
Yes, they are. They are. There are
Yeah.
a lot of tools. There are a
Mm,
lot of tools, and that's what programs like Lab will do for you. That's
mm,
what understand what that's what. So let me tell you one thing I've seen and learned so far. The problem you have is not really the problem you have.
mm, 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 mm,
The
mm.
problem you think you have, I promise you, is not
It's
really the problem
nice.
you have. It's
Yeah.
never the problem you have. That's one.
Mm,
Two, the problem you have is not the real problem you have. The way you are thinking about that problem is the problem that you have.
mm, mm, mm. Somebody please type these things in the chat.
The
I hope you
problem you have
understand.
first it's not really the problem you have. There
Mm-hmm.
is, if you dig deeper, there's something else. So like I always say, it's your roots,
Mm.
and it is producing branches and leaves and flowers. Now the problem, the thing a lot of us do is we just cut the branch or cut the leaf.
Mm.
We don't go to the roots to deal with it. That's
Yeah.
why you solve one problem today, is something else is manifesting in another area of your life tomorrow when you are not dealing with the roots,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So that's that, right?
Mm.
So programs like this would help you unpack what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because, and that's what coaching does. Programs like we've seen a dating coach, relationship coach. What it
Yeah.
does is the thing is, all of us have things that we're just looking at it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need someone else to help you see that you can also go like this. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
my hand was up to the camera. You're looking
Mm.
like this. You just
Mm-hmm.
probably need someone else to help you see that you can also go like this and get
Mm-hmm.
results. So
Mm.
yes, to answer your questions, there are tools to unpacking current programming. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So one of the tools that I use for single people is what I call singleness test. It surprises me when I run that test on my clients that even though they claim that they are single and ready for marriage, by the time they are done answering these questions, we realize that they are not really single and ready for. And unknowing to them, because they will respond to the question based on how they are thinking. Now, those thoughts are from a certain belief that they've held on to. I also run beliefs assessments on my clients, for example, and we begin to see how your beliefs are limiting. By the time they respond to each of them, what I do for couples, it's like I'm doing magic because this couple A tends to really now see how the husband is thinking there, and me, I'm thinking here. But what we are saying is absolutely not revealing that this thing is the real problem.
Yeah.
So, for example, people who say things like, or a husband who you're trying to get to help you out in the kitchen, or somebody tells you, I want to support you, I love you, but deep down with him, he is telling himself, now only woman they enter kitchen.
Yes.
He will not say it out because he does not want to make you feel a certain way. But what is holding him back? Why he will still sit down in the sitting room and be
Mm-hmm.
watching TV when you are carrying the baby and still in the kitchen cooking and stressing yourself is because that belief has kept him there.
Yes.
And this replacement
Absolutely.
with man. He
Absolutely.
loves you. He really loves you. But guess what? A belief is holding him from making a decision, from
Yes.
taking action to
Yes.
do. So yes, we have tools. We have assessments that we're going to run when you join lab. Lab is the um, Lab is the 3-day boot camp, which was starting off in February. It's a Love Accelerator boot camp. I'm going to share the link before we leave here so that you can take advantage and join right in. There's another question for you, two more questions before we go. Somebody says, I'm now here wondering what my trauma would be for my lack of commitment. Because I mean, I want to love and be loved, but I'm scared of committing.
MrzSparkles.
Hmm.
Well, I only have one answer. Join love.
No love.
So the fear of commitment will come from somewhere.
Mm,
There's every fear we have, it comes from somewhere,
yeah.
right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
being able to unpack it,
Mm,
being able to unpack it. Like I said, just like you said, you really want to be loved. If this
mm,
love comes, if you don't unpack it, you will chase the love away.
unknowingly. Hmm.
Yes, unknowingly you will chase it away. There will be just
Yeah.
the way you are thinking that will. So there is something called TFA.
Okay.
Your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
will create how you feel. How you
Mm-hmm.
feel will create the actions that you partake in. The things that you do comes from your thoughts and your feelings. So if you
Mm,
don't find out where your thoughts is, because everything that we do is from our thoughts. If you don't
mm,
find out where that thought is coming from, why are you thinking
mm,
that way? The way
mm,
you are thinking was like what is fueling it?
mm-hmm.
Because and most of the times it's from your subconscious.
Yeah.
Your programming is in your subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Is your conscious is maybe like 10, 15, 20% of your life. Every other thing is in your subconscious. So until
Yeah.
you're able to unpack it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, lab is the way I say that one. Lab is the way we enjoy lab.
Oh my God.
So
And
you
it's
find that answer there, you would unpack it.
mm, mm. Thank you so much for sharing, Coach Tineke. I'm going to let you go. Yes, coming in February. I'm going to let you go. My final question would be this. Previous speakers have told us, oh, yeah, you need to know your values, you need to know yourself, all of which are things we are going to be discussing in lab. But aside from that, is there anything else you want to leave with these singles? I mean, these are people who have begun this year with the mindset that they want to get it right when it comes to dating, and that's why they are here. It's not like they are bored, they are busy professionals, they are business owners,
Mhm.
right? And they are here because they want to learn, they want to expose themselves to more that would help them to shift their mindset so that they can make better decisions when it comes to dating. What would you have to tell these people? I mean, you said there's some things that you wish you had heard, and I know there's a lot. But if you were to summarize or in 2 minutes, what would you like to tell these gentlemen and ladies who are here?
Normalize coaching,
Hmm,
normalize programs like this that would, because a lot, like I said, for me, I had issues, I had trauma I did not know that I had.
hmm,
So there might be things that are stopping you. There might be learn how to learn about your emotions, learn
hmm,
about communication,
hmm,
because those are the things that those are the foundation. So it's not just love is fantastic. Love is great. I always say, but love is not enough to sustain and keep a marriage or a relationship.
hmm,
From
hmm.
outside is sweet because they are coming and going. They'll probably see
Yeah.
you once a week or twice a week. So that's in that jitters will still, but when you're now there, I was waking up and sleeping and doing everything together, there are sides of
Hmm,
that person that you would now start seeing. Read
hmm,
books, transform your mind, change your mindset. All of those things are very, very important. Programs like this would also help you, would expose your mind,
hmm,
deal with your emotions. If there are fears you have, start handling it now,
hmm,
instead of bringing it, because sometimes, like, all that we have said about your subconscious, you bring in these things subconsciously. You're not even aware that it's running you. So
hmm.
yeah, that's my advice. Join
Thank
lab.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please say a very big thank you to Coach Tinuke for joining us this evening.
Thank you for
Being so
having me.
vulnerable and sharing from your own experience really meant so much to us. Thank you.
Thank
Now, if
you.
there are people here who want to connect with you, how can they reach out to you?
My Instagram handle,
Mhm.
Tinuke 2.0. So it's Tinuke 2.0 on Instagram. That's the fastest way to connect with me. You can send me a DM. You can follow me for nuggets.
Awesome.
Tinuke 2.0. That's my Instagram handle.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you. Everybody's saying thanks. They're grateful.
Thank
All
you,
right. Thank
everyone. Thank
you.
you for
Thank you so
joining. Thank you
much.
for having me. Bye.
You're welcome. Thanks. Wow, we have come to the end of the dating series. Ladies, gentlemen, it's been 5 days. It's been 5 days. And I am doing this because I know that being single is a very huge opportunity that rather than crying and saying, "Oh my God, I'm still single 2024," you should be celebrating and you should be maximizing the opportunity, right? The registration, the link for lab, the Love Accelerator program is open. Don't just hear and go and repeat the mistakes. Join Lab. It's a group program, so I'm only working with 15 people, but the first 5 people who come in would have an opportunity to sit with me in a session, of course, virtually, right? Or you get an opportunity to sit with me in a session. You have direct access to me. Okay, please go and join Lab. If you join in the next 48 hours, you get a chance of saving yourself 25% of the investment. Yes, that's because I want you to invest in yourself and I want you to take advantage of the discounts. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And I just want to say again, thank you to all the speakers from the one till now. I've not done something like this where I'm like out there every day. So I have really stretched myself a lot. But trust me when I say your feedback, your comments is the icing for me. Is the icing for me. I am so grateful that you decided to invest in yourself this way. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I think it's safe to call it a night, and I'll say, do have an amazing weekend. I'm looking forward to welcoming you in lab, and I cannot wait to hear your stories. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. If you're not following me yet on Instagram, like, what is it? And please, if you want to leave me a review, a comment, send me a DM, drop a message on your stories, tag me, let people know that you have gone through something. Let people know that you have gone through this kind of experience. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, I'll see you in lab. I would see you in lab. And if you want to have a one-on-one session with me, you don't want to do lab, you don't want to do any boot camp, you want to work with me directly, definitely that offer is there. Just send me a DM on Instagram and say, how can I work with you one-on-one? And we'll take it up from there. Thank you, everyone. I don't want to end. I'm sure you can see, like, I'm just like, let me still stay, let me still stay, because I had a great time. I had a great time. But of course, everything that has a beginning has a beautiful end. Thank you, everyone, and have an amazing weekend.